ahead, sir.
Commissioner Pierce, Ed Matushak, 17612 Webster Court. Commissioners, Mr. Mayor,
Nice
you're
to
still
see
here.
you.
Nice to drop by. I've been a resident, as you know, of Tinley Park for 45 years. Was a trustee once upon a time. And again, as I recall, as a trustee, you know, the entire village places their trust in us when we're in office. And we're the ones, as trustees, that are supposed to set the policy, not the staff. And I think what I've seen here is a unfortunate case of the staff going off without proper direction from the entire village board. Hopefully we've learned a lesson. And I feel bad for the commission. They're faced with the only thing to vote on here, but they're volunteers. They're put in a really untenable position. I think everyone is trying to do their best. I hope that, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if everyone got voted out, but I hope we don't do that. I hope we've learned from that, because you throw out the entire village government, you've thrown out the stability of the village, and you've just sunk your home ownership for the rest of your life. So hopefully we will look forward into a little more guidance from the board and a little more information provided to the commission as we go forward. Substantively, as to this project, if it is looked at by the Planning Commission, again, as I understand it will be, concern I had is the fact of parking. You had only one space per unit, and yet you have more than half, or at least half, of the units are 3-bedroom units. There is no public transportation in that area. There's nothing. I mean, it's probably 2.5 miles to walk to the Jewel food store.
Food desert.
So you're going to have more vehicles than one per unit, I guarantee it. That's going to create some safety problems. You're going to have people parking in fire lanes. You're going to have other issues. I don't know if this was even looked at. You're going to have traffic.
No, a traffic study was not done.
Please let him speak.
That's, you know, one of the things I think we need to look at here is who's doing some of the studies. With all due respect to the police department, I don't think they're the ones I want to commission to do my studies. With all due respect to some of the staff members. You know, you need more information to be able to rule on the issues before you, and I don't think you're getting it properly if we don't have supervision on the staff. And that's all I have to say for tonight.
I'd like to see you working on this. Too.
Well, I'm sure you would. But you may have retired ahead of me, Art, but I still got a few kids to put through college, but we'll see. M-A-T-U-S-H-E-K.
Sir?
Hi, my name is Marlene Lees. I'm at 163rd and 80th Avenue in a condo in Bremerton. I've been a resident of Tinley Park for 30 years. I have never been to a meeting. My first meeting was last night because in the morning I heard that rezoning had occurred without basically many people or anybody knowing about it to establish low-income housing at 183rd and Oak Park Avenue. And I'm here to let you know that low-income housing, when you concentrate low-income families in a single area, you're not providing the best quality of life for them. You're actually creating a detriment to their survival. Even though it's been reported that, oh, we're going to screen them and so on and so forth, I disagree. I would be very willing to do research to support what I'm telling you and provide you with details and information. I also have experience as a realtor. I do believe that it would increase the crime rate. There are examples nearby Tinley Park where that is true in low-income housing. It will also affect the property values in the surrounding area, and it will affect the crime rate in the entire town. I really thank you for listening. I would like to support it with facts, should I be asked, and should I have an avenue to do that.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you. My name is Karen Nicholson. I spoke last Tuesday, and some of the residents wanted me to reiterate what I said. I'm a resident of Tinley Park the last 15 years, and I'm a realtor. I sell and buy in Tinley Park and the surrounding areas. A situation that I had last Wednesday is I listed a townhome in South Point, which is 4 blocks just south of the intersection 183rd and Oak Park Avenue. I received an offer on the property on Thursday, and then on Friday the buyer decided that they were going to take away their offer because they heard about the low-income housing.
Yeah.
So the longer that this property is going to stay on the market, the more that people are fearful of buying it, the lower it's going to go. And then everybody's comparables, all the comps when they're trying to sell their homes are going to go lower, and the price of the value of our homes are going to go lower as well. So I just wanted to reiterate what I had spoken about the other day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I just want to make a suggestion. Trustee Vandenberg went over the documents that he went through, and he's raised some really troubling questions, I think. I'm going to throw my 2 cents worth in here.
Go ahead, Steve.
See, Mr. Petrino was here. When this, and if it ever does come back before the Plan Commission, I'm going to ask you to demand that you review the documents that this individual developer submitted to the Illinois Housing Development Authority. I think we got to this point because of this letter from the planning director giving her, and again, I don't mean to make personal insult, but she is in no position to give an opinion, a legal opinion about what's commercial and what's not commercial. There's another thing. I'm asking you members of the Plan Commission to demand to review the documents that are submitted to the Illinois Housing Development Authority, because when I went through these, Mr. Petrino, if I'm getting his name right, he claims to Ida that there is no commercial use in this property. And he comes in here on Tuesday night and says, because he has to do his dance, well, we do have commercial on the first level now. It's the rental office. Okay? There are cases, and Mr. Melody knows this. You know, I look through the legacy code, there's no definition of commercial. I look through the zoning code, there's no definition of commercial. We know what's commercial and what's non-commercial, but Mr. Petrino comes in here and does his dance about his rental office is now commercial. And this led this whole thing and put this steam engine coming out of the barn where this commercial, non-commercial had to be changed. And if you looked at the Citizens for Tinley Park site, you saw the planning director's letter up there. Ida, what they demand in their documents, I think these are important, they demand a letter of local support. That was supposed to come from Mayor Seaman. It never did, or at the time, Mayor Zabraki. So this developer tells Ida, I'm not going to do it. Now, Ida drops the ball. They approve this thing, but you members of the Plan Commission, I'm asking you on behalf of everybody to look at these documents and see what these developers are sliding through. Because if Ida misses it, I think your duty to the Tinley Park residents is to look at this and see if you pick up on it. Ida demands, I don't even know if my new glasses are going to allow me to read this one, zoning. A letter from the local zoning administrator or chief elected official in localities without a zoning administrator, identifying the project and containing all of the following: location, current zoning, and basically the fact that it complies. Okay, this employee is not the zoning administrator. I don't know if you know that she submitted it and that she didn't comply with the IDA rules. I don't know if you realize that she gave a legal definition of commercial, and quite frankly, I don't think that she can do that. Mr. Melody can point you to the cases about commercial, non-commercial, but the important thing is, please, when you are considering approving, if this ever comes back, or any IDA project, approved project, please look at these documents and consider these when the developer comes in and says, take my word for it. Because unfortunately now we've seen 2 projects where village employees have dropped the ball on zoning and the Plan Commission has never looked at it. Please, look at all the documents on behalf of the people that you owe the duty to. Thank you, Steve.
second time I've come in front of you. First time, this is the first chance I've had to say thank you for turning down the AT&T cell towers that were presented 2 years ago.
Did that long?
I think so. But yeah, thank you again for making that tough decision. Again, this just is a reiteration. I know a lot of people here don't know that 2 years ago, I know Mark, the village attorney, David, and you, sir, on the end, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, Mr. McClellan. These people were brave enough to say no to AT&T at that time, so please don't vote them out. They're doing well. I want to say that going through this process this last time and going through this again, the first time, shame on me. The second time, I'm not going to have it happen again to this community. I volunteered to help out for the planning committee. I will do it. I just want to say that, again, looking at this overall, unfortunately, I worked in the financial industry for 15 years. We've had people that have done just this type of thing in the finance industry, gone off and done on whatever they wanted. Were the Bernie Madoff? No different. No oversight. So I promise that doing this, I will provide whatever I can and whatever expertise I can bring to the table.
I remember you gave a detailed report on that one, so that helped.
Presentation, yeah.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
My name is Monica Rubin, and I live basically on 183rd and Ridgeland. So I am not probably among popular opinion, because I'm not here to tell you that I'm against low-income housing, because I don't know, quite frankly, enough about it to say that. What I am against is the fact that citizens in Tinley Park are to abide by codes that clearly other people aren't. My husband and I have been living on 183rd and Ridgeland on the corner, super windy. Last storm in November took our fence down almost completely. So we decided we're not going to fix it, we're not going to claim it, we're going to build a new fence for $12,000. I immediately get the quote. Builders say, go get a permit. No problem. I go get a permit, right? Did what I was supposed to do, right, ladies? What happened? I get a call like a week later because I'm like, hey, I'd like to get this fence built before the ground freezes. What happens? I'm told that my fence, as it stood when I bought my house, as it stood for 15 years, was out of code. So if I wanted to replace my fence, I would have to apply for a variance, which I'm not sure if anybody's been through this process, but it's the fact that my husband and I, one, had to pay more money to get a permit and had to put in all this extra time and effort and time away from our families was quite insulting, to be honest. Because the bottom line is that 15 years ago, somehow, there was a permit issued for that fence to be built. And no one was ever able to tell me what happened there, who dropped the ball. If I were to follow the code, I would lose 44% of my yard. So I went through the process, and my husband was through the process, which Amy and Stephanie guided me through. I answered repeatedly on paper why I should be able to put my fence where it was, bigger and stronger and shinier and safer than it was. Then my husband had to come and stand in front of, I believe, I'm not sure, same board of people last week or 10 days ago. Tell me, Amy, who was it? Zoning board. He had to stand before in a very formal hearing. We were warned how formal and serious it was going to be. And my husband answered over and over why we should be able to put our fence where it already was and why it would be safe. And I'm just insulted because other people clearly, you know, if you want to, if the zoning committee or the village wants to push it through, it'll get pushed through. Somebody like me, working, my kids are in school, my husband works out of the country most of the time, we pay $9,000 in taxes. Nobody pushed us through. That's it.
Thank you.